Okay, so guys, hello. I'm sorry that it takes me forever to start, but I'm trying to set the camera this way because the light is really low in our garden now. It's getting late, and we had some plans for taking you, well, to different places today, but this day has been mostly about planning.
Decisions.
Family philosophy. So we thought we're going to make this small video. For those of you that don't know us and you're not on our The World is Home group on Facebook or following us through the page or Instagram, then we should introduce ourselves. I'm Marie.
I'm Servé.
It's my husband. We are traveling the world. Actually, I've been traveling since I was 18 years old. We met traveling, and you probably saw the introduction video which we made, which tells a little bit about us and our philosophy. Now, right now, we are living in France, and we have been moving from house to house for...
Since 7 years.
Since 7 years, since we had the kids. So we have 3 little boys, 6, 4, and 3 years old. And we have been world schooling them a lot, and we travel a lot in between them, moving every 2 years. We have some serious decisions. So if you have been following, you know that we need to take big decisions. In 40 days, we need to leave our house, which you see just behind us here. And we need to get rid of some...
a lot.
60 cubic meters of stuff. We need to just pack everything, and we don't really know how to pack. If we're going to move into yet another big house, if we're going to stay for a few years, if we are staying with the corporation, if we are going on our own. So there's been a lot of philosophies going on.
Philosophies,
Yeah.
different directions basically that we can take now in our lives, and that's the big challenge for us today.
Yeah.
It's to try to pick a right one,
Exactly.
or the best one.
So it takes time to make a decision. And today we wanted to share this small video just to tell you that we have been working a lot on the content that we have, because we have some 6 terabytes of content that we have been producing over the last years, but we've never planned to actually share it. And the fact that we're sharing our life is quite new, and I think it's going to come, well, it's going to be useful for our parents that world school their children, and this is the idea, to really inspire people to world school their children, which you can do as a full-time thing, or you can do next to your normal classical education. I'll talk to you about world schooling much more another day, because it's getting dark, and I really just wanted to tell you that we still have no decision of where we're going to live in 40 days, and we don't know how we're going to travel further. So we wanted to tell you the point number 1 of our family philosophy, which, as you know, is our slogan, The World is Home, a family philosophy. And our philosophy is travel and world school.
That's why this decision is actually taking a long time, because we definitely want to continue traveling, and we want to visit some other places of the world with the kids. And what's been lying in front of us today is either staying where we are basically right now, or continue traveling more intensively.
Yep, that's it. And that decision is not a small one. So the number 1 thing to do with your family philosophy is to talk to the family. So this is a key element that we would like to share today. It's talking to each other. I think a lot, well, it might sound very obvious what I'm saying, but I think many people don't think of it in an everyday situation. A lot of the misunderstandings come from the fact that we don't communicate. And it's not because you speak a lot of languages or you're eloquent that you communicate. Communication is really putting the stuff on the table, putting it on a paper. Like we would today discuss the whole day. We were planning to see a castle and take you with us live. We do that sometimes through Facebook and so, but we're going to put much more of the lives on the YouTube channel instead, which is going to be like the place. So what we really, really, really wanted to do was take you around, and the kids really wanted to see there is a medieval castle that we wanted to show you that we love. And I think that it will be very much in pair with the medieval party, which we're going to throw very soon. But you know, today's day had to go to talking and communicating.
Talking and planning.
Yeah. And really going into details, because it was a little bit like, you know, you have to be wise when you take these decisions. You have to think of finance, economy. We're not so good at that.
No, we're actually pretty bad, both of us.
We're bad.
So we had to sit down, put it on a piece of paper. Later on, it's going to be on the computer and just calculate exactly
Yeah, exactly. How much we
what, how.
could, how can we afford it, what can we do next? Is this a wise decision? And of course, you have to follow your guts a lot, but you have to exchange and communicate with the family members. So what we have done over the last month is talk to the children a lot, and they're used to traveling a lot, intensively a lot. I don't know if you've seen us. We put up a little movie from the journey we did in April through Namibia, but our kids are really, really used to traveling a lot. They've been traveling all their lives. Nonetheless, this is a big step for them as well. And Frankie, who's just 3, he doesn't remember all the other houses and so forth. So we have to give time to the communication. It's not just asking a question and waiting for the child to reply and please you. Yes, mommy. Oh, yeah, I love it too, because that's what children will do. They will try to please you. It's listening to what they say when they're playing. It's listening to how they imitate you when they talk to each other, and we can
They are
probably
a bit worried about what's going to happen.
What's gonna
They just
happen.
know they're going to leave.
Yeah.
So they're like a little bit sad because they're going to leave their friends
Yeah,
behind.
and they're worried about the
But-
toys, They're like, usually they can bring all
that's the
their
biggest
rooms.
worry.
So when we move, normally we would set up the rooms to look quite similar. We set it up in a certain way, and I'll show you the rooms before we leave, so you can, get inspired on how you can decorate a room and make it like a very, making the room look the same if you're moving several times, if you have a job that you need to move wrong, or if you're traveling the world, to make that environment so familiar, and that gives children a sense of safety. So that's one thing I'm going to show you as well. But they were worried, but at the same time, they really are excited, and they are so into going somewhere. They just play going, they play traveling, they have little bags packed, and they are excited about the things. We have given them the option of either stocking their toys or selling a lot of their toys and then taking the money to buy something else wherever we go. And they're quite excited about that. They've been calculating about how much
They've
money
been
they can get.
calculating, exactly.
And there are some stuff that they don't want to sell. They definitely want to set up at grandma's places. The grandparents live in 2 different countries, so 2 other countries than this. So basically, it's going to be a lot for them, but they want to set up certain things at the grandmother's places that they can just, keep. Edwin says that he wants to keep it for his son when he becomes a father. So that's a 4-year-old. So guys, it's been, what can I say? It's been a tough moment for us, but we are sticking to the family philosophy. And the rule number 1 in our family philosophy is to talk to each other. Also between us as a couple. If we don't talk out precisely, very quickly we notice there are some spin-offs. Each and every one goes in a spin-off little direction, and you just need to put it on like paper, No, that's not what I meant. No, that's not what I was saying. How much is it exactly? Oh, it's roughly. No. How much is it exactly, right? Now we're at the point where we're like, how much is it exactly? Comma, cents, how much is it? So no more like assumptions or like big lines. We now have to go to the little details, read the fine text at the bottom of the contract and just like think of a lot of things. So kids have been transmitting really great waves. They have been really excited about this. And tonight, Frankie asked me, Mom, I have one question. He's 3. He asked me, who's going to live in this house when we leave? Is there another lady moving in here?
Who's going to take our house?
Who's going to take our house? And a few years ago, when Oliver, our firstborn, was 3 years old, he had the same issue. And that's when we explained to him the difference between a house and a home. And we told him about walls and being owners and owning something as in opposed to renting something, and stuff that we rent out that other families live in, and how that is not our home, but it can be our house or walls or roof. And that really went through very well. So
That made a lot of sense.
I made a lot of sense to him. And so,
Exactly.
wherever the family is home. And he got that. And I talked to Frank tonight, and he was absolutely enchanted by the idea that, I'm going to bring some of my stuff, and I'm going to take some of my favorite books, and it's just going to be like always.
Discover new places, meet new people.
Yeah.
They just meet new friends.
They meet friends
They're very
a lot.
excited about that.
Yeah. So one of the big arguments that we get often from people is, that we will have children which will not be, having deep relationships, because the fact that they move a lot causes some kind of stress. Of course, that's total mumbo jumbo, and I have not yet read a scientific paper that actually confirms this theory. And on the contrary, many of my friends, many of our friends that are on the road, they are fantastic couples and have a very deep relationship. And at the same time, many friends that we have that don't move around have not such fantastic couples. And there is no guarantee that the couple is going to work more or less or be deeper or less deep love, because...
On the contrary, I think.
Yeah.
You make relations when you travel, and you keep the good ones.
Yeah.
And you keep the good ones.
Absolutely. And you make them deep many times.
I mean, we have friends we met like 10 years ago. We see them quite regularly.
Very regularly.
We keep contact with the good people.
They will travel, and we have friends that we've made here in France, which are going to be our friends forever, and they are already signing up for wherever we go. And they're going to come. We're going to have a lot of visits. We always have visits. We do. We love it. But we have visits from friends throughout the whole year. So we travel a lot. When we're home, we receive a lot. People from all over the world come and visit us always. So I don't see no reason to why that would stop. As to, consequences on the psychology of children, well, I am not a psychologist and an expert. I read a lot. I feel that our children are thriving and are happy. They are achieving a lot. They speak 3 languages each, which is not so bad. They started reading at a very early age. It's just Frank that doesn't actually read. Well, Edwin starts to read pretty nicely.
Starts to read, yeah.
Oliver read at 4 as well. So we don't push them into anything. We observe them. We look at who they are. And I guess that's the beauty of world schooling.
That goes fine. I mean, they do learn a lot by themselves, kids.
Yeah.
You just have to stimulate them a little bit, and
exactly. So wherever you are, whether you travel or not, if you dedicate a little bit of time and you tell the child to go out and search for information by himself, I think it's a much nicer solution than to press him, push him, or just do things for the child. I think it's good that the child gets independent and he feels safer like that. And I think, well, that's my opinion, but you get a lot of my opinion on the world schooling materials and all the classes and things that we do, which I plan to share with the world. And friends, please bear with me. It takes a long time because I do a lot of this stuff manually, so I don't have great computer skills, and I need just like to put all the stuff up on the computer, like my graphic stuff, and it's not really working very well for me, so I'm looking for help now.
It will get better.
It will get better with time, I hope. Yeah. So hopefully I'm going to be able to share that.
Kick in and
so give us a bit. So just basically remember this: we are amateurs. We have never done this before. We've never shared anything like this before. We are doing it because we think that could inspire parents to pay a little bit more attention to the world around them and the child and how it's in this world, and perhaps we can inspire some good parenting. Hopefully,
that's the point.
So this is why we do it, and I hope that it's going to be fun on the way, and I hope you're going to enjoy our adventures. You can already see a couple of videos that we edited now, and a lot of new things is coming.
More this week.
Yeah, so I'm going to post maybe
the trip of last week.
Yeah, the trips of last week
Jura.
in Jura. There's 2 episodes done, so I'm going to post that, and the Fontainebleau Forest,
exactly.
which actually
the forest next door.
This is where we live. We live in the forest here, so we're going to post that one, and I don't know, maybe next week there's going to come a few more. There's going to be more movies from Africa, but I cannot promise what is coming out when, because we do as much as we can in between, riding and traveling and
working
3 kids and work and packing the house, and so. In 40 days, we have to leave this house. In 40 days, we have to move, liquidate, sell. We're probably going to sell a lot of stuff. And we also have to take the decision how we're going to travel and if we are staying within the corporation or not. And that decision will be taken very soon, and we'll share with everyone as usual. So guys, if you are following us, then stay tuned for more very soon. I hate when I say that, I always do it. So if you don't, then you can hop on either our group, which is The World is Home on Facebook, or you can just go to the page where we post stuff as well, and that's The World is Home Family. We also post some pictures whenever I have time on Instagram, and that's also The World is Home Family with dots in between every word. that's about it. You know, if you enjoy this, if you're curious, and if you want to come along on the adventures that are gonna come very soon, and you know, we'll take you there. And please
We'll
subscribe,
post more.
and we'll post more. And I think you have to turn on the notification. There's a little button with like a bell that you have to turn on, because then you know when we are
When we're gonna
live or when we
post.
post some new things. Yeah, yeah. There is
I just want
also
to warn you also when we go live.
yeah, we do
We
that.
kind of improvise them all the
We
time.
do.
but
We improvise them. Sorry for that. We're probably going to get more organized at some point. But there's another way of knowing, although I did not actually send a mail today, but you can also hop on the mail list where I write it's called Detour. Thank you, Simon. It's called Detour. It's a mail that I send out from our journeys. So those of you that followed us through Africa know, but it's going to come from all the travels, and it's a little bit spontaneous. It comes now and then, sometimes more, sometimes less. And you can hop on that if you go to theworldishome.com. And then you sign up, and then you will get those. And hopefully, if I get organized enough, I will send an email every time, a little bit in advance before we go live, so people can follow. But again, guys, this is a very spontaneous thing. Our decision to share this, our decision to yeah, everything actually is very spontaneous, and also the way we travel is very spontaneous. So you will notice that way, even for huge trips of a month
Not
or so,
used to plan too much.
we don't plan too much. We usually take the tickets really late, and we usually book 2 days of arrival hotel and 2 days of departure
Leaving.
hotel.
And in between, we just
We just improvise. Yeah. So
go wherever the trip takes us.
that's how we normally travel. We will have to be more organized if we do this full time, but
It depends on the destination.
Yeah, it
Some
depends on the
destinations it's impossible to do.
yeah, definitely.
Namibia, we had to plan more.
Namibia, we had to plan more because we did a self-drive to the desert, and we had to just make sure you can't drive in the night in Namibia, so we had to just, you know, hide away
sure.
from the animals. So we had to have some stops planned. Anyways, we talk more about all these things to you. Right now, we just wanted to share this one point that, you know, when you are in a family, the thing to do is really to communicate. That's point number one in our family philosophy. There are other points that I will share as well. But first thing, communication, and making sure that you don't think you're communicating, but actually are. So it also consists of
That
listening.
you understood.
Exactly. You listen very carefully. Sometimes you need to write it. Sometimes you need to draw it. That's what we did today, actually. We've been drawing circles and planning.
Sometimes drawing is better than 1,000 words, as we say.
Absolutely. My philosopher.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, have a great evening, and
Bye.
we'll talk to you soon again.
Good evening.
Bye. Bye-bye. Now I have to turn this off.